Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Piper, also known as Golden Bacon. I am a YouTuber and kind of a documentary kind of person, but I do all sorts of things. I recently made a documentary about the Caravan Palace, and today I am interviewing Hugues Payen, the former violinist of the Caravan Palace. Hugh, how are you?
I'm very fine. I'm very happy
Very fine.
to have this chat with you today.
Yeah.
And since I'm on the Discord server, I was very eager to have that kind of time with you and all the fans of Caravan Palace. So that's a cool thing. Cool thing,
Yeah.
really.
Well, if it's all right with you, I do have some questions. Some are fan made, some are by yours truly, and I'm just kind of shoot away and see what your answers might be.
Oh, just one thing.
Yeah.
Do you hear me well? It's
Yep.
okay?
one Hundred
Or do you
percent.
prefer I put my headphones or something? No? It's
No,
okay?
it is literally perfect right now.
Oh, literally perfect. I love that.
I cannot believe how well this is going because I spent like the last hour just trying to get everything working. I just bought a new camera, and I actually have multiple interviews coming up. Of
Okay.
other band members, so that should be super cool. So my first question for you. So
Mm-hmm.
what made you come back to making music with your new single?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know really. Music is my whole world, it's my whole story, my whole being. So I play music since I'm four. I'm four, yeah, 4 years old. So
Wow.
so for me, it was just impossible not to come back to music at a moment. When it was the question, but I think that with everything I did in the animation, 3D animation and VFX, I yeah I I felt that my real world was the music, not the animation. But in the same time, I still work on it. I still try new things, and for example, I will have a training on Houdini, software, VFX software, for 4 months. À partir de till no, no it begins in October, and so I didn't let the animation world at all. But you know, I'm not on stage since 5 years, 6 years maybe. Nobody heard about me and my music for a very long time. So I think it was a good time for me to come back to music and try things. Even if I didn't produce any house music before, it was a good way for me to express something new, something different, and to maybe in a way to try to be separated from Caravan Palace in a way, because sometimes it's heavy to have that on your shoulders, to have
Yeah.
that Caravan Palace thing. It's very cool. I'm totally proud of it, but sometimes you need just to be light, to be yourself, and not the former violinist of. It's
Yeah,
like the wife
exactly.
of, or the husband of. It's that kind of thing. You always hear that when you have some celebrities, and their husbands or wives are like, "I'm just the wife of. I'm not myself." And I was a bit the former violinist of Caravan Palace, so I had to make something about that.
Yeah. So, that answers my second question. My second question is, where did you get your start in music? He kind of answered it at the age of 4, which is
Yeah.
actually crazy. Oh, this is a good question. Who is your favorite artist?
Wow.
Yeah.
It depends on the time, and the weather. It
Same.
depends
Same.
on a lot of things.
100%.
Um, right now, I listen a lot to Noga Erez. You know Noga Erez?
I do not, but I will definitely check them out.
She's from Israel. She's a very good
Okay.
singer, and oh yeah, she did a very successful track with Missy Elliott. It was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and she's a very good singer. She makes some very different electronic music, and I like it a lot. And I am lucky because she does two concerts for the release of her next album, and one of the gigs is in Paris, and I have some tickets in Paris to go
Nice.
there.
Awesome.
So no guy Erez. Mm.
There it is. All right. So, I'm gonna skip over this question. This is a interesting one. if there was anyone you could collaborate with, on a song, who would it be? Like a
James
collab.
Blake.
James Blake. Good answer.
James
Good
Blake.
answer.
Yeah, for me,
Amazing.
he's the best producer. He has the best ideas, and he knows how electronic music must go, where it must go. He knows the avant-garde before the avant-garde. He knows everything. I don't know how he can do it, but you know, English people are special. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, my next one is. Oh, this is a good one. Which Caravan Palace show was the most memorable for you? Which was the best show?
It's always difficult to answer that because I personally did around 600 concerts with them. So sometimes you're like, oh, this one, but no, this one was good as well. Um, I don't know. It would be between Coachella for sure because it was
Yeah.
a very big memories for us, and especially when you play two times at Coachella on 2 weeks, and the bands who play there. When they are not that famous like us, they try to do some other gigs in California or the states near California, and we had a lot of very good times between the two concerts of Coachella. So that's why I remember this one first. But I could say a festival in Switzerland called the Paleo Festival. It's
Yeah.
just at the border with France, and it's a very good festival, very family friendly, and it's Swiss, so it's very clean, it's very well organized, everything's okay. And
Yeah.
when you are an artist, you have a lot of very good things to eat, and a lot of very good people to discuss with. So it's
That's
always a
fun.
good time to play at Paleo Festival in Lyon. Yeah.
All
But
right.
I could tell you a lot more concerts like Les
Oh, for
Francopholies de La
sure.
Rochelle. I could tell you, I remember the first time we played for the jazz festival in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
We were the surprise concerts, and we played two gigs on the festival place, the big festival place, and we had almost 60,000 people, something like that. It was just
Wow.
huge,
Wow.
huge. So
Wow.
30,000 for each gig, but it was just incredible to play
That
there and to
is
look at the
crazy.
people. And for the festival, because we are very fond of that festival, it's a historical place
Oh,
to play when you
for
are
sure.
a jazz man.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Um, so for my next question, oh gosh, um, which Caravan Palace song is the hardest to play?
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, this is-
I have two answers for that because
Okay.
you have the
Okay.
technical aspect and you have the emotional aspect.
Okay.
As for me, I just pick for myself because it's just for the experience I had with them on stage. La Caravane. Do you know that track from the first album, La Caravane? It said La Caravane qui t'emmène swinguer sur les bords de
Oh,
Seine. The last track
it's
of the first
familiar.
album, and that track was very difficult to play because there is a theme in the middle of the song. It's very difficult to play, very difficult to play. So we had to rehearse that every concert. Every concert we had to play that with a clarinetist and with a guitarist. It's always very difficult, and emotionally. Um, we played for a few gigs Sydney. It's
Yeah.
a track from the second album, if I remember well, sung by Cyril Aimé. And it was always very difficult, not because it was technical, but because you have to put a lot of nuances. You see nuances,
Yeah.
yes, a lot of dynamics in the intention you put in it, and it was so we didn't play that often because it was just too difficult to have the good emotion, the good feeling at the good moment, and we weren't able to put it on the set list at the good moment. It was just too late or too soon. It was never the good time. So we decided to let it out. It was just too difficult for us to play it.
Awesome. That's super cool. Um, oh, so I think I already know this answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyways because it's by a fan. Um, How did you guys meet each other? Like, how did you even get into this?
Um, it, it's it's a bit unclear. No, it's totally clear. I went to university in Lille, a city in the north of
Okay.
France, and I met Arnaud there, the
Okay.
guitarist,
Yeah.
and we had the same studies at that time, and I had a band there, a rock and roll band, and it was very cool. He came to our concerts. I went to his home because every Monday he made a party at his apartment. So after the rehearsal of my band, we went to his apartment to make to have party with him. And when I came to Paris 2 years later, he came to Paris in the same time, and he called me. I was in musicology in Paris, but I didn't like it. And he called me and he said, "Hey, Hugo, don't you want to make some music with me? Just in a cave with no light, and we won't have any money to that, but for that, but it would be cool." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we began with that. And at a moment, he discovered the gypsy swing guitar. He wanted to play guitar,
Yeah.
and he thought that it was a good idea to learn gypsy swing guitar first, but it's just one of the most complicated guitar to learn. So, but it's Arnaud. Arnaud is like that. Just wants the best and to go the further, the furthest he can. And so he called me again and told me, "But don't you want to get your violin back and try to play some swing with me?" But I never heard any jazz in my life, and I was a classical player, rock and roll player in a way
Yeah.
because I played violin with my rock band. But I never played jazz before. So we called one of his friends called Charles, the bassist, which was just a funk soul bassist. Didn't play jazz as well.
Okay.
So he bought a double bass, and we began to, yes, with another one or two another other guitarists. We tried to play some gypsy swing in the cafes and bars and so on. But at a moment, we felt that we had a lot more pleasure to produce electronic music tracks more than playing gypsy swing in the bars. Even it was very cool, but you are paid 50 euros for playing 4 hours. It's not financially talking. It's not that good. So
Yeah,
we
that is a bunch of
we
change.
yeah,
This is
and we were maybe
spendy.
20, 22, something like that, and we are like,
Yeah.
okay, it's just a moment for us to begin to earn some money and to maybe to make some room for us in the industry.
Mhm.
And so we were like, okay, what exists, what doesn't exist, and or we were playing we were producing electronic music, and we were playing gypsy swing. So it was quite natural to do that.
Yeah.
After that, the story is
Yeah. Well, see,
more
that's a
complicated.
much better answer than I had. I had MySpace.
Oh no, we met Zoe on MySpace
Yep. See, that's what
because
she gave in the interviews when I was
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
research for that project. It was just MySpace. That was the simple answer. But that was a much, much better answer than just one word. So
Yeah,
I do
because
appreciate
we
that.
began that project before Zoe. Zoe
That's
came
true.
when we were maybe it was 1 year and a half, and we
Okay.
put some tracks on MySpace. So
Yep.
that's why she came after because
Yeah.
we already had some tracks, and she had a quite similar song as Jolie Coquine, and it was
Yeah.
a paper bag, if I remember well, brown paper bag, something like that, and it was very similar to Jolly Coquin. So we are like, okay, don't you want? She sent us a message like, okay, there is too much men in your band. You need a girl, and I can be that one. We are like,
Yeah.
wow, wow,
Wow.
what a woman. So we were like, okay, come on and sing with us. We are playing in a bar in Paris in the 15th arrondissement, 15e arrondissement, and come and we'll see what we can do with you. So she came and she sang all night long, and we drank beer all night long because there were a lot of gypsy swing musicians who are a lot better than us, and we told them, okay, you can take the stage, you can play as much as you want. We have beers just behind, and then Zoe come at that time with her backpack, chick chick chick. And they're like, okay, where do I sing? You sing there on stage with the good musician, not us. So she was like, okay, okay, and she sang for maybe 2 hours or more. And at that time in France, you had the right to smoke in the bars. You could smoke
Yeah.
cigarettes. So it was very difficult to breathe and to sing. And
Oh
she's a
yeah.
no smoker. So it was very difficult for her. I spoke with her a few years later, and she told me, but you can't imagine. I just opened the door and was like, okay, I come back home. I can't sing here. And she saw me. She told me that she saw me and was like, okay, no, he seems cool. He seems cool. So okay, I try something. So she stayed and she sang in the smoked bar. And then the day after that, she came at our studio. We did some tests, and it was just perfect. So we are like, okay, we have our singer.
Nice. That's
Thank
awesome.
thank you, MySpace.
Yeah, thank you, MySpace. I don't even think I was alive for MySpace. I mean, when I saw you guys, it was the Susie music video. That
Yeah.
was the first time on like the family laptop. I absolutely fell in love ever since. Particularly the violin solo. I think it's like perfect. It is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's literally probably one of the best. I mean,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
No, I'm serious. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of my favorite parts about this band. So speaking of parts, what? Oh man, this is a tough one. What is your favorite and least favorite part of the songwriting process? Yeah.
Um, it's not that difficult because I think a lot of
Okay.
artists would say the same as me. The best part for me is the moment when you discover the song to be. When you are on the synthesizer, for example, and you're like, okay, I like that sound, and you just make a mistake, and you're like, wow, I like that note. It was not planned, but I like that note. And then you begin. I'm currently doing that thing because I'm writing the next 6 songs of my
Ooh.
project So I'm totally in it every day of the week. And for example, yesterday I made a whole track on the day because I was with my memory Moog synthesizer and was like, okay, it's so cool, it's so cool. So I made a lot of button turning and pushing and that kind of things for 5 minutes. I recorded 5 minutes of that and I made a track with it. So it's for me it's the best part when you don't know exactly what the song will be, but you know that something good will come out of
Uh,
what you're doing.
yeah.
And the worst is the end. I often say that finishing a song is like finishing a room in your house when you did everything, but you have to do the little paint, in the corners and on top of the door, and you spend hours doing that, and nobody can notice that because it's just little details. But you have to do that because if you don't, your room just looks miserable. So you have to do that little painting all over for hours, and it's just useless. But you have to do that, and it's exactly the same with songs. At a moment, you have your structure, you have your themes, you have everything, but you have to make the little difference, the breaks, the moments when the dynamics of the song and so on, and it can when you I don't know you spend 4 days doing a track, you can spend 4 weeks doing just the finishing of the track.
Yeah.
So it's quite similar
Yeah.
to finishing a room in your house.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have to give a little warning. Zoom
Mhm.
apparently wants us to pay money to continue this Zoom call. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
The upgrade, but it's 8 minutes from now. I'm just giving that warning. Do you want to? I do have a couple more questions. Do you want to end the Zoom call and just start another one, or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it
Yes.
real
Okay.
quick.
It's
All
that.
right.
I wait for the
The
code.
link. Yeah, it'll be really quick. All right.
Okay. On Discord.
Yeah, on Discord, it'll just be super quick. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
See ya.
All right.
Oh, you're back.
We are back with part two.
Part 2. Let's
Part
go.
two. Yeah. I'd like to cut corners. I don't like to. If I don't have to spend money, I don't.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So, where were we? I don't know. Um, I guess I'm gonna go on with the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess this is kind of a general question. Why did you leave the band, and were you sad to leave the band? Just kind of, yeah, easy answers.
Of course, I was sad.
Yeah, yeah.
It was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange because I did my last tour with Caravan Palace. It was a US tour, and we finished. We made our last gig in Quebec, a little town near Quebec,
Yeah.
and I remember that at the end of the concert, I cried because I knew that it was maybe my last concert with them. I don't know why. We were just
Um,
on tour, so I had no idea that it was the last one, but something told me that it was
oh
the
my
last one, and I cried
gosh.
on stage. I never cried on stage, and that one I was totally devastated. I didn't know why. And
No.
when we began to make the fourth album, it was very difficult. It's always difficult to make an album with Caravan Palace because we were three, then four, and four very strong personalities. So
More the better.
to yeah, but when you have an idea, you have to fight
That's true.
to make it accepted by the others, and it's
Yeah.
very difficult
Zoe mentioned that.
because the other have a lot of things to say about your ideas, of course, and
True.
it's good like that. But at the moment, it's exhausting, and I don't know. We made a lot of concerts together. We made four albums together, and I felt that I had something else to do. When you work for 15, 20 years with
Yeah.
someone, with at the moment you know each other too well. You know
Yeah.
everything that will happen
For
when you
sure.
say a word. It's the same with your wife or your
Yeah.
boy, your guy. But it's like that. So at the moment, I felt that the ideas that I had never made their way in their ears. So when I decided to quit, we made a meeting at the studio of Charles, and I told them that I felt that I was on a road, but a parallel road of them. They were on a road, I was on a parallel one, and never we could cross. And we were totally parallel every time. So I was like, I can't work like that. I need my ideas to be accepted. I need
Um,
that you are happy with my ideas because it's the main reason why I'm still here in the band. And at the moment, I didn't feel that I was a good element in that process. And as I
yeah.
told you, making an album is a very difficult process with Caravan Palace.
Yeah.
And we almost split for three times during the albums because it's always very, very, very difficult.
Well, I'm
Um,
glad you didn't. Otherwise, I would be
yeah,
very upset.
yeah, well, I could tell you a lot of things about that, about splitting, but
Yikes.
yeah, we didn't, and it made us stronger
Yeah.
until a moment when I felt that I was too weak to go on with that, and I just wanted to make things by my own, have my own ideas, and make it accept by myself and nobody else. So I tried, but at the time it was at the end of 2018. I don't
Yeah.
remember where. So we had 2019, which was quite good, but then the COVID came,
Yeah.
and I
Um,
planned to do a lot of projects with Paul-Marie Barbier, the pianist of Caravan, which is the godfather of my son, a very good
nice.
friend. And I wanted to make some projects with him, and very old projects that I had that we wanted to do together. And bam, COVID, and
Yeah.
we couldn't do anything for at least a year. And I was not sure that a lot of people wanted to hear what I wanted to say, to express. You see, I had a lot of ideas. I tested some things with my friends, with some fans, with Caravan, and when they were like, "Yeah, that's cool," that's cool. I was like, no, I don't want to make
Cool, but
music
no.
just to hear that. No, it's not enough. It's not enough,
It's
cool.
not
I
enough.
want something bigger. And I didn't find in myself what I could do to be more than cool. So I had that very strange period when I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I made some music every day for 9 hours a day, but I
Wow.
didn't know why, and was like, but why am I working? Just that. What is the sense of that? I love having a goal in my life. I don't I hate doing things without a goal, without a
Yeah,
purpose,
it's good to set
and
goals.
I need it. I need my to know that my songs won't stay in my hard drive and they will be on Spotify or whatever what you
Hmm.
want. So I was quite depressed at that moment, and I bought it. com- Sometimes life is strange. I bought e-ink tablet called Remarkable 2,
Yeah.
and just because I was fed up with having a lot of papers on my desktop, with a lot of ideas written on it, and was like, no, I just want a tablet and everything noted on it. And I liked the idea to write on it as it was a paper. So I bought that famous Remarkable, and uh, and something strange happened because I never draw in my life. Never. I'm
Yeah.
very bad at drawing. Very
Okay.
bad. But I began to draw on that thing, and I made
Okay.
maybe 100 drawings in a month. So I was like, "What? Is-
Wow.
Isn't it a new goal in my life? Maybe."
Yeah.
But
There you go.
um, but I felt that just drawing was not enough because it was just drawings, and I was like, "No, I'm not an artist. I'm not a good drawer." So at a moment, these drawings would just stay in the Remarkable, and the same thing then for music. So I went on YouTube and I saw a little tutorial about animation and was like, ah, that's cool animation. I can
Yeah.
try that kind of thing. And I spent 4 months doing a clip of 2 minutes and a half. So I was like, okay, I think I have something to do with animation. If I am able to spend 4 months just doing one clip alone, I must do something with that.
Yeah.
So I decided to make studies, and so for 2 years, I learned animation with teachers and so on, and I had an exam and so on. So yes, that's it. That's why
Yeah.
I'm very talkative. I'm sorry.
No, actually, this is great because you actually answered a couple of our questions, and like one of them was what made you pursue 3D animation because I saw it on your Instagram. There's
Yeah,
the
we did
answer. I didn't even have to ask it. It's perfect.
that.
But yeah, I guess skipping that question. So I guess this is kind of a more of a controversial question. Would you want to go back in the Caravan Palace? Like if they,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's not
no,
that controversial because
okay,
no. I would be very happy to come back with them. I talked with my
okay,
manager a few days ago, and I told him that I didn't have the good level with my violin to
okay,
come back with them. Now, if they asked me, for example, for the Zenith, because they play at the Zenith in Paris, a very big venue,
yeah,
uh, in February.
mm-hmm.
I told him, I was like, yeah, but I have to practice for 4 months before I could be able to come back on stage. So it's not only that I want or don't want, or they want or don't
Okay,
want, but it's just that I don't have the level anymore. That's why when I was on Discord a few days ago, I asked the fans if they could be interested in a YouTube channel I could do with covers, some what the fuck covers with my violin. And everybody was like, "Yeah, that's good idea. That's good idea. I'm definitely interested in it." And I was like, "Okay, but I have to practice first." I was like, "Oh shit, they're enthusiastic. So I have to play violin. I have to
man,
practice."
that's crazy.
But I think that could be a good thing for me to practice again. And I try with
Yeah.
the tracks I'm currently doing for the next episode of Higo. I try to play more violin, to record more violin, even if it's time consuming, because I think that it's my particularity. It's because I'm different from other electronic music producers. It's because I play violin as well, and um, why not yes use that skill to make some different music and some different and to propose some different ideas. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that, Ooh, speaking of animation, this is kind of a good one. It's kind of broad, to be honest with you. What is your favorite animation? I guess. What's your favorite? Let's just say animated movie. Let's just go with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could have answered that question a few months ago before going to Annecy Festival,
Oh.
but I went there and I was I cried a lot there, and with a lot of different things. For example, I saw what's the name of vice versa in English? Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
It's that Pixar film, that Pixar movie with the
Um.
emotions,
Um. So what?
your anger,
Oh.
joy.
Um. Um.
Don't
Inside
remember.
Out.
Inside Out. Thank
Inside
you.
Out. They just had a
Inside Out.
second one, and that was a great movie. I
Yeah,
love
and
that movie. That was great.
I was lucky enough to see it before the whole world because it was in Nancy. So I was very lucky to have some tickets to go there and to see and I cried during the film, for example. But
I kind
after
of did
that, I
too.
went to another movie which is about the album Rock Bottom from Robert Wyatt. And
Oh.
it's a Spanish animator who came and to meet Robert Wyatt, and she asked him about how Rock Bottom, which is a masterpiece of the 20th century, how he did Rock Bottom. It's a strange story because he was with Soft Machine before that, but he fell from an apartment and was on a wheelchair after that. So it was the first album he did after the hospital and something. So it's very weird. So she made a whole film, quite psychedelic, of course, because it's in the 70s, so everything is psychedelic,
Yeah.
and about his life with Alif, why his wife in Marbella, in Ibiza, in New York, and so on. And the film was totally psychedelic, but I cried as well because it was so beautiful, so beautifully drawn, and the story was so heartbreaking. No, so I couldn't tell you. And yeah, and another one, a very good one. Um, Michel Hazanavicius. Do you know him?
No, unfortunately, but
He
I'll look
made
him up.
uh, he made a film called The Artist with Jean Dujardin, and they had an Oscar. It was 5 or 7 years ago.
Mm,
They had the
artist.
Oscar. And it was the Artist. And Michel Hazanavicius is very famous in France for comedies and that kind of things. But that time he made an animation film
Oh,
about the Shoah,
okay.
about Auschwitz,
Okay.
and but you don't see corpses, not a lot. You don't see the horror of that. You are in the life of peasants who live near the camp, and they just see the trains. They just see some little details, but they don't know exactly what happens there. And the same, I cried a lot. I just spent 3 days crying in Annecy.
Oh,
So
for
it's very
sure.
difficult for me to tell you yes. Before that, I could tell you, yeah, it's the Pixar style, it's my style. But now, no, I'm not that sure now. I'm not
Yeah,
that.
it changes all the time. I mean, like even like I always root for the underdog. I always like love finding the people that no one's ever heard of,
Mm,
and like indie animation's just been blowing up, just all over the place. I mean, you
yeah.
got like what the Amazing Digital Circus did 341 million views, or like out of nowhere. And then
Mm,
you got Brent Rogers with Hell of a Boss, Lackadaisy's coming up with the 1920 style, and
mm.
I'm looking forward to all of them. So they should be super fun to watch and just see. Hopefully, it goes well. But
Yeah,
they have actually electro swing in that too, so that's how that ties in all of
sometimes.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with your band members, the old band members, for sure?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
We, we,
figured.
we are like we're like brothers
Yeah, family,
and
really.
sisters with
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We were all at the wedding of Charles' wedding. It was 2 years ago.
awesome.
Oh, maybe three now. Wow, time yeah, like that. But it was in Morocco.
Yeah.
Very cool. he had to fly to Morocco to be
Wow.
at his wedding. It was just wonderful. And yeah, of course. And I go to the concerts. I send some messages when they release an album or they release a clip or yeah, of course. I have
It's family.
I was lucky enough to leave the band in a good atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been hard during COVID.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
when you know people that well that much, it's
yeah,
very easy
for years.
to be angry and to say just the word you want to, you want to make him angry. So you say the word, you know that it will work, and then you slam the door and no, I didn't want that.
No.
Not just big talents. They are my brothers, and
Mm.
I'm sure that we have a lot of things to do in the future. So
Yeah. Oh,
it have been, yeah. I'm
that's
sure
a big statement right there.
maybe for the next album, for example, because
Hey,
I discussed
oh.
with my manager and with them, and they were like, okay, they missed the melodic aspect, and I was the melodist in the
Yeah.
thing, one of the melodists. I'm not the
Yeah.
only one, but I was the one
It's not the
who,
same. Well,
yeah,
like
it's
I like
definitely the
their
same.
live show literally like yesterday. They did Jolie did yeah, they did Jolie Cookie, and it's a heavy violin, and they had no violin, and I'm like, man, if Hugo was here, man, they'd I mean, it would be that much better. It was still amazing, but it would have been even better.
I don't know. They are very good musicians with
They
them, and they
are
are very cool. I love them. They
super
are
good.
very good humans and musicians.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just different. We made something very old school,
You
very old
did.
school, very old fashioned. So at a moment when they decided to, because Camille, the clarinetist, left at the same time as me, and to Stu,
Yeah.
which was on we played the trombone and machines,
Mm.
left maybe 1 year later.
Yeah.
So they had to reinvent the band with just the
Yeah.
three of them,
Kind of
and
shows.
they took good decisions, I think, regarding the changes to do, and I don't know, it's just different. It's
Yeah.
just different.
And I see this with other bands too. I mean, like even a different band I'm with is Ginger Roots. I mean, it's so obvious that you can see the old Ginger Roots, and then the new, and then you can see the old Caravan Palace. It's more gypsy swing orientated, and then
Yeah.
this is more electro, stuff like that. But it still has that unique character to it.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm proud of their last
yeah,
album, because I was very afraid of
so
that.
good.
When they sent
Really.
it to me maybe 2 months before the release,
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to listen to it. I'm too afraid. And then I listened it. I was like, okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
It's just too cool.
I love it.
They found something a bit different, but still the same. And maybe it was not revolutionary, because it's very difficult to be a revolutionary when you yourself revolutionized something at the beginning.
Yeah,
So it's very difficult, but yeah, it's at a very good level, and they understood what was their uh, where were their weaknesses and what was where they were strong, and I think that they balanced it quite well, and especially Zoe, who sings very good, I think, especially in concerts. When I saw them in Playel in last February for one of their first concerts of the
yeah.
tour, I went to her. I was like, "Wow, Zoe, you just worked so hard. You sung very cool, very good." And because it was always a problem when we were on tour. When you are on tour, you don't want to practice a lot, because you have 2 hours of show, and so on. You are on a bus, and you
Yeah,
don't want
it's
to
super
practice. You just
difficult.
want to enjoy life,
Yeah.
and then doing your concert.
That's when
So when you
oh sorry. That's when I made a dumb meme of, I think it was them like calling us, and then they did on the bus tour. They called like the Discord server and had a live view and everything. They were eating sandwiches like at midnight. And I was just like, how did this even happen? How did we get
yeah.
here?
Yeah, sometimes we had pizzas at 2 or 3 in the morning in the festivals, because it's just it's like that when it's not a normal life. Being on tour, it's not a
No,
normal life.
no.
Everything is planned, so you just have to be on stage at the time You have to be on stage, and that's all, nothing else.
For sure.
So it's not normal life. When you come back to normal life, hmm, it's not the same. When you have taxes to pay, when you have diapers to buy, when
Yeah.
you have
Oh, for
a
sure.
lot
I
of
mean,
screams everywhere.
gosh.
"Ah, papa, 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 leave me alone!" It's very difficult, but it's a good life, but not a normal one. Not at all.
No, I mean it's difficult. I mean, gosh, I mean, I see
And
kids running
sometimes,
around all the time, and it's like I can never do that. But who knows? But it might get me one day. Um, oh gosh, where was I with questions?
oh, I didn't see the chat.
Oh yeah, they're going crazy. I mean, there's only two people here, but I imagine the Discord is just going like oh my gosh. But oh, so this is a good question. This is a good question. Um, Besides the violin, what's your favorite instrument?
Piano, no
I
hesitation
agree.
about it.
I agree,
Yeah,
100%.
because with piano you can do anything you want, especially when you are fond of synthesizers like me. I can show you there, but I have
Yeah.
uh, I have synthesizers everywhere. I have guitars a lot.
Yeah.
That see, I have a mellotron, and I have I have I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you see the synthesizers here.
Wow. Goodness
See?
gracious.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And
Oh, for
I
sure.
buy a synthesizer for 15 years or 20 years. So
Yeah.
and I regret not that I don't know how to play piano. I regret it. It's the biggest regret in my life.
Same.
So I practice. I try to, but I'm not good at it.
No.
I practice guitar as well because I like guitar, but I would prefer to be good at piano more than guitar.
Yeah. I'm more of a vocalist. I mean, I never picked up an instrument until like COVID. COVID, I spent the entire. That was my thing. I just played piano over and over and over again, and I learned up to 12 songs, but I can never get the second hand. The coordination is very, very difficult. It's
It's very
so
difficult.
hard. You have to like turn off your brain and then
Yeah,
it's on
and
inside.
the older you get, the worse it is. So
Yep,
yeah, you have to
100%.
learn very young. It's
Yeah,
just late for me.
but yeah, I just love it. So, great answer. Great answer.
Hmm.
Um. Oh, this is a good one. What's your favorite Caravan Palace song?
Oh, I
Favorite
spoke
one.
about it with Paul Marie a few days ago. That's funny. For me, it's Maniac.
Maniac. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when we played it on stage, I had goosebumps every time you have the MS-20 on the back. That particular part, I always had goosebumps on stage. So for
Yeah.
me, Maniac is one of well, for me it's the best. It's the best song to play and
For
to
sure.
listen to. I still have it in my playlist. It's the only song of Caravan Palace that I have in my playlist. And the Clash remix of Shiny Mob. That's
Yes.
the
Yes.
two only songs that I have in my playlist. Yeah, the rest is too
That's a
difficult
good
for
one.
me to listen to.
Yeah. Well, I really just like I started with Susie, so that's an all time favorite always. But then I love because I worked in the restaurant industry for I still do. Um, um,
Mhm.
so City Cook just like spoke to me. I thought that was just amazing, like well put together. Like when the claps come in to like just the French tease reference at the beginning. I thought that like that will forever be a meme on this Discord server and in general. It's like you want to give that to my customer. Not like that, Chip. That happens every time, every day.
Okay, yeah,
Literally, last night
that's
that
great.
happened.
We were unsure that anybody would notice that, so that's cool.
I thought that was a very clever reference. I love putting references in like everything I do, like just
Yeah.
Easter eggs, and little hints here and there. But oh, so I guess I'm gonna down. No, I got like three more left. In general, what is your favorite song to play? So not Caravan Palace, just anything.
My favorite song to play.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say a Beatles one. I'm practicing guitar for 2 years now.
Okay.
I try to be better every day. It's difficult,
Yeah.
but I try to. And at the very beginning, when I was a total shit, I decided to play some Beatles songs because yeah, Beatles, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Hey
my
Jude.
mother loved them, and it's a soundtrack of my youth. So I was like, okay, just try it. It was at the moment when you had the Get Back documentary as well. It was
Yeah.
2 years ago, I think, and I totally fell in love with that documentary because you can see Paul McCartney in a real different. Um yeah, in another way, I don't know. For me, Paul McCartney was not that kind of guy, and it was so cool. He was so cool in the documentary. But anyway, so I began with Here, There, and Everywhere.
Yeah. No,
This
I
very
played a
simple
lot
song.
of Hey Jude. That was one of my
I do that. Yeah.
first piano songs during COVID. I was just like trying to figure it out. It was a very simple song too.
Very simple.
Yeah,
Beatles are very
great
simple.
start.
But when you analyze their songwriting, it's just wonderful. I was listening to In My Life during preparing the meal. I would just I just want to listen to some Beatles. I began with Girl and then In My Life, and was like, but it's just genius the way they find these melodies and how they can make it fit with the chords, and it's genius. It's genius. And
Oh, for
I
sure.
maybe I
I
listened for
don't
that song
understand
a
how they
thousand
did it.
times.
And they
Every
made it
time I'm like,
like in the 70s and 60s. They made it like with barely any technology that we have today. We don't even have they didn't have a fraction of
just
what we
four
had.
tracks.
Yeah, yeah, and then they would just come out like, "Oh, yes, Paul, we're gonna make this song now."
Incredible, incredible. And
It's
it
crazy.
always makes me mad because I'm just like, how could they do that?
And
How
I
could
think it's just like the simpler the better, because like their best tracks is literally like bum
clearly?
bum bum. Like it's just
Oh,
so
yeah.
simple. This
You have almost nothing, but it works, and
oh, it's perfect.
it's an elastic thing when you listen to some song more like in Abbey Road or the last albums. You can feel that there are some elastic things between the lyrics, between the lyrics, melodies,
Hmm.
harmonies, and you think that everything is it stretches everywhere, but it's always tied and you see, and I love that. I love that. But English, one more time, English people are
No,
totally special, and they know how to do things that nobody else
yeah,
knows how to do, especially French. We try to do some things, do electronic music, but when it
yeah.
comes to lyrics
It's
or
good
melodies, that
songs.
kind of things, they're just better. It's like that.
Yeah, it it's kind of weird because like I didn't like understand like English music. I mean, like, you know, American music, but America's music has been super stagnated. It is very
Mm,
industrial now. It is capitalistic, super capitalistic right now.
mm.
Where like, you know, literally 10 years ago, like you had Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, like all these pop singers that were brand new, hitting track after track, amazing songs that are still I know they're classics because they're still played in the clubs today,
Yeah, of course.
probably over there.
Mm.
Um, and now it's like, okay, song number 187, the
Mm.
same exact melody for the 187th time.
Same here.
So that's
Same.
why I go to this. This is why I look at these different bands. Like I do everything I can to find the nobodies because like
Mm.
it's just so much better.
Yeah.
Like even in England, I mean, like they have I don't know if you know the band Swing It. I'm gonna give them a quick shout out. They're pretty new. They're like 2021, I believe they started. But they're small. They're very small, but they tour sometimes. But they do swing music as well, and that's one thing I would say for the Caravan Palace. It's not even like to a degree, not even swing music because like it is just so unique in its own way, Caravan Palace, and it's
Mm.
literally like here's all the other swing bands, like electro swing bands, and then
Mm.
here's Caravan Palace.
Ah,
Like
they're nice.
it's just like
uh,
it's a whole different level. I mean, like I love Jamie Berry, I love Wolfgang Lohr. I want to get him on here. I love you guys. Karen Palace is better, but gosh,
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's because
I'm just pandering at this point. It's true though, Diego. Like
thank you,
Lucas said,
thank
it's
you.
true. All right, then it's true. It's facts.
But I'm not the only one in the band, so
That's
it's for
true.
everybody in the band.
Who knows? We can get
Yes,
if we can get Zoe and the whole rest of the gang after the tour. I'd love that. That would be huge. If
I
they
will tell
find some
them
time.
that they have to reach you.
Yeah,
Uh,
it would be very
mm,
difficult because they're busy.
I think that's the difference between Caravan Palace and the other electro swing bands. We were the first ones with Parastellar, so
It's
it's
true.
quite interesting
It's
and
true.
important. But in the same time, we are musicians, and a lot of us did some classical studies, and we know how important it is to have some how can I say? Um, if you want to make art, art is not just notes after notes. It's not just a brick of clay. It's not just a splash of painting. It's not just a movement of dance. It's a lot of things which are interconnected, and we know that. And if you want to do something different, unique, authentic, you have to find ways to connect things in a way you are the only one to be able to who is able to do that way. Sorry for my English.
No, it's
Sometimes
good.
but and I unfortunately a lot of electro swing bands don't think the same way as me because they just are like, okay, there is a recipe, and I will do the same. I will do the same the way that I
Hmm.
can, not as the way that I want. It's two different things.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of electro swing bands with very good musicians, but they didn't want to go further in the research, in the discoveries. But we do that. That's why it's so difficult to make an album with Caravan Palace. It's
Hmm.
because we make maybe 40 songs before we have 10, and in each song we want to sew, no, wait, tricoter, I don't know, wait, to sew things
Yeah,
together,
you put it together.
to put it together,
Yeah.
and that it's coherent, and that we are proud of it. After that, I'm not sure every electro swing band is proud of what they release sometimes, because it's just something
Hmm.
you already heard, or it's not very original. You can, and when you're a musician, you can feel it. You don't have to be a
Yeah.
genius to feel that what you are doing is not that great. And I think that they know that what they do is not that great. That's a shame for them, but we went on, and we decided to make the things the way we wanted, because you had Power of Stellar. Power of Stellar makes very good work with that, and he tries to go further and further in his way, the way he wants to do it, more DJing, more, yes, more clubbing than Caravan Palace. Caravan Palace is a live band with a lot
Hmm.
of instruments, and we
Oh,
want it
yeah.
to be organic. We want it to be live played. So sometimes, yeah, you have some mistakes when you play, and that's why it's so cool to see and to listen to, I
Yeah.
think.
So, the stupid timer is up again. So I got
Ah,
6 minutes.
no, no,
So I'm gonna wrap
yeah.
this up, but this is the question. I was saving this for last.
Ah,
Um, and
okay.
it's kind of a little controversial for sure. Gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna ask this. Where is the original film that contains the first song by the Caravan Palace? Where is it, Hugo? Where is
Listen,
it?
listen. If you find it, please send it to me.
Okay, we can't find it. Like we have people that like
Yeah.
Thindy and like all the other ones. It's in Area 51. Like
The
we
only
have
thing I
other
know,
people. What? Yeah, we
the only
don't.
thing I know is that it's called The Duck. So you can imagine what happens in the film with the duck. And it was from the 1920s.
Okay.
And
Alright.
that's all that we know, because
Duck.
the film appeared, and we made
Duck.
it in
Mirrors reference. The
mirrors
duck and
reference.
the mirrors animation. Oh my gosh. Maybe that was the real. Maybe that was the plan all along.
I'm not sure I would want to see it again, because what I saw at that
Yeah.
time was quite traumatizing.
Oh, so have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We did
okay.
the soundtrack.
All right.
We did the soundtrack, so we had to see it. It was like, oh no. We are like, oh no, it's horrible.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
No.
bleach. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but maybe if you have a grandfather who have a grandfather who has a lot of porn films of that time, maybe you could find it. But
Yeah.
you know, we made it in 2004, and at that time the hard drives were very expensive, and
Oh, for
we
sure.
spent, it was another time. It was 20 years ago.
I was
and,
1 years old.
Sorry? What did you say? Sorry.
I was 1 years old.
You were
Wait, I was one. I was born 203, man. It's only 20.
And so we asked Canal Plus. Canal Plus is a TV channel for which we made the soundtrack. So we asked them a few years later. We were like, hey, we'd like to have the film. Oh, you're sure? Huh?
Oh, sorry, my camera.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. I can't.
And
My camera's a
was
little
like,
fuzzy.
yeah. I want the film. I want the film. And they spent 2 weeks searching, and they never found it.
They never found.
So,
I don't think anyone's ever
some
gonna
of
find
this
it,
work.
but it'd be crazy if we did. Well, who knows? Because we found that Django Reinhardt music festival from 2007. Some random
Yeah.
guy had a camera,
Yeah.
and I'm
You
just
had
like,
a lot of footage.
bro.
I don't know where you found it.
I think it was Thindy. Thindy gave me a playlist, and then it was just some random guy with like 200. Oh, it says shush. But it was just like 200, 200 views on it. Just
No problem.
random part of the internet, and I'm just like, oh, all right. I guess I'm gonna use this now.
It was our fourth concert, something like that.
Fourth? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were recording history. I love making history and talking about history. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for having me. Just to talk to you. Yeah, it's hopefully maybe we can do a follow up like a year from now. Like see
Yeah,
if
no
like
problem, when you
we can
want.
get a whole album out and we can
Yeah.
see what the future looks like, sort of thing. But
Maybe tracks with Caravan, maybe a concert
Yeah.
with them. I don't know.
yeah,
Lots of-
I'm waiting. I am waiting so much for them to come to the U.S. because I see them in Mexico, Canada, everywhere but the U.S. And I'm like, why don't you just come here? You're already there. Just drive over.
it's difficult.
It's
You
so
have
difficult.
visas and
It's so
things
difficult.
and-
You have to get every single place. You have to organize the whole thing. It costs so much money. And yeah, and then you have the tour bus, which, gosh, I mean,
Something
yeah,
like 15, 20K a day.
a day.
in dollars.
All right,
day.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can
that's
imagine
a
that when you
lot.
spend a month
A
in the United States,
day.
it's just huge.
Gosh.
And we are not that huge. We are not that famous. Imagine when you are Taylor Swift or that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I don't understand because you have a video, Lone Digger, with 423 million views on it, and then on top of that, you have it's in a Disney movie. I know it flopped, but it's in a Disney movie. It was not a good movie, but anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for talking to me, and hopefully we could talk again soon in the future. Who
Yeah,
knows?
when you want.
What do you
Whenever
want? All right.
I'm here. You know where I am.
Yeah.
You can, ask me whenever you want, even in a month if you want.
All right.
If you have any question, don't hesitate. Okay.
All right, bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.